dos, tres, catorce. I should ask, are we live? Because I counted down 5 different times. So I should know. Are we
right.
Neil. Brian, are we up? I should know because I don't know. I've confused our producer. I've counted.
We are live. We are live.
Hi. Welcome to another episode live of Sketchy Ideas, the very live point counterpoint video podcast where we illustrate, debate, discuss ideas surrounding leadership, business, growing, scaling, and today, your people and how to have a great time leading them and doing work with them. But before we get any further into the bad cap hattery, we should talk about the people that are making today's show happen. First of all, one of those I'm representing today, that is Spirity. Sketchy Ideas is powered by Spirity. Spirity helps business owners grow and scale their businesses with strategies that really do produce results, turning goals into plans that get you farther than you could have gotten on your own. With the help of a coach and a mentor, you can achieve the things that you've always been working on and dreaming about. Come talk to us and we'll help you understand what the heck I'm talking about. Spirity.com. Brad.
All right. And our other proud sponsor is Cream City Marketing, helping small and medium-sized businesses to grow, scale, find new clients, build more engagement, produce pieces of material that will help build your business and build rapport with your clients and customers. Go to creamcitymarketing.com where you can find out more about what we do, who we are, and how we can help you. Go to creamcitymarketing.com and we'll see you there. All right.
Very nice.
Michael.
Okay. So by the way, hi, I'm Michael Rampolla. And co-host today with me is?
Brad James.
There you are. Thank you. We could put wow. So when your producer gives you a script, but you forget to read it and look at it, and you just, forget to read your cue cards, this is what happens. Also, all right, so today, here, let's have
I am Michael Rampolla.
I am, is that me? Am I? Wow.
All right, Mr. Burgundy, what are we talking about today?
All right, here we go. So today we're talking about upgrading your talent, which is another way to say talent development, training, and those kinds of things. How did we get here? If you've been paying attention, following along, and even if you haven't, we'll get you caught up. We've been talking about how do you grow your business through things like process, things like delegating, things like leadership, things like identifying who's responsible, who's accountable, micro content or micro processing down to the finite elements that make the business run. Now that you've done that, we want to talk to you.
And making sure that it's not making sure that it's not all on one person, right?
Right.
Because at the end of the day, if it's one person, you only got 24 hours in a day and you got to sleep and
you have capped your growth capacity by definition,
yes.
Right?
Yes.
So you're a leader, you're trying to reestablish your organization to better run your processes. And now you're looking at the people. If you remember, people come last, but not that the people are last, but finding the right people to do the work comes last because we've already identified all the work. That. Now, we've got a bunch of harebrained ideas today that could help you upgrade your talent. And most of them don't look like send them to class.
Make them watch a video.
Right. Because that only solves one kind of problem. I think we did can't, won't, don't know how. Remember these, Brad? Can't, won't, don't know how?
Yes. That was a while ago.
3 reasons people aren't doing, don't know how. Back when I first started in kind of corporate training consulting space, I was a training consultant, which meant when somebody called and said, my people need training, I said, I'll be right there. Which isn't very consultative, but is great for getting lots of frequent flyer miles. The other thing it's not great for, is actually making a difference and helping people do their jobs better, because training isn't always the answer. Training is the answer only when one of these 3 things is true, and that's the don't know how reason. If people don't know how to do something, something has changed, something is new, then training and education helps. But otherwise, we're talking about other kinds of things. Can't is a skills issue won't is a motivation issue or opportunity. And today, what we're going to focus in on is that skills idea, and how do I identify skills, and how do I do some sorts of training and development,
Right,
to get more done with the resources I have. All right, so I'm going to toss out a couple. You toss out. What are some things that you've heard about ways to develop your people? What are some ideas that we could explore today?
so one that, I mean, let's start with eliminating the ones we're not going to talk about, right?
Okay, that's good.
We're not going to,
Out.
we're not going to talk about the ones that people think about, correct?
Right.
Which
yeah,
are,
so let's
we're going to
level
send
set,
you to a
right.
classroom training and you're going to go through PowerPoints every day until you know how to do it. We're not going to
Right.
talk about on-the-job training. We're not going to talk about watching videos through a technology platform. Any like classroom, like really structured stuff that
Right.
you've probably heard and seen or tried or been a part of, where you're like, some of these are good, some of these are bad. We're not going to talk about those, right?
Yep.
Tell me if I'm wrong, unless one of those was on your list.
I think traditional on-the-job training is out, but I think there's ways that we can spin that. So I'm going to put a half a step back in.
Yes.
But yeah, but there's anything that feels like, back when I used to do a lot of corporate training, there was the idea of like, yeah, I went to class. Look, here's the manual sitting on the shelf behind me. Doesn't mean I'm doing anything with it, right? But that was like I have my certificate and I have my binder.
Yes.
And like that's the proof that I now know these things.
Yes. I picture the old school TV with the VCR and the tape that's been there for 15 years. And the guy who shows up and he's in a suit and says, today we are going to talk about customer service.
Right. Perfect. So how do I learn customer service? Well, you watch the standard customer service training video, right?
Yes.
It's a little well worn, and like anybody who knows what a VHS is, like it would deteriorate over time. That's actually a good.
Brian,
metaphor.
you know what a VHS is, right?
I've
Is
seen
that a
one
yes?
on the internet. That was a. He's laughing at us.
Brian?
Yes.
Yes,
I know
no?
what a VHS
Okay.
is.
Yes. He knows what a VHS is. All right. Thank you for not
Uh,
making me feel old.
we're not
I
that old.
appreciate you.
But here, this is good. Like just like the tape in a VHS like wears out over time, so does the training and content on it.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like that. All right. So yeah. So anything that would structured. I'm gonna do fixed, like non-adaptive. Like that tape was established at one point in time, and if that's all we ever do and we never reevaluate that, that's out.
Correct.
That's on the out. All right. So what's on thanks for level set. What's on the in? What are some things we could get into?
I'd like to talk about the buddy system a little bit.
Ooh, I like it. Okay.
I would like to, at some point, maybe not today, dive into like simulators and simulations.
I like it.
I would also like to test the idea about what I like to call throwing in the deep end.
Okay. Yep. I like it.
And I think another one that I really want to talk about is the different ways, and this is a topic that we should touch on, but is a whole episode all on its own, is the different ways to mentor teach.
Got it.
Right?
Yep. Mentorship as talent development. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I guess for me, at the end of the day, training is never, when I work with companies on this to build systems and programs based on that structured stuff, we try not to focus on it being like a beginning and an end process, right? There's more of a mindset around it rather than it's a program we implement and you hit the program. No, those programs are part of it, but it becomes more of a mindset rather than just like, today we're going to do this. Today you get through your 6 weeks and all of a sudden you're done training. No, it's a layered approach, because as we look at talent development and specifically how businesses have to be structured, and we talked about this, with iterating process means iterations of training. And with iterations of training, the reason is because you want to continue to develop your internal people consistently so that as the process iterates, so do your teammates.
I agree.
You okay there?
Yeah. I realized
you just disappeared from the screen. I was like,
I wanted to go find my I needed a resource and I had to go find it. Yeah. So one-time checkbox training. One time.
Yeah.
Good. You're done now. Right?
Yeah.
All right.
I know you've got some other ones.
No, yeah, I did. So I was trying to find the term. I couldn't come up with the right term and I wanted to find it. So one of my sources, so this is the idea of learnability.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll talk about more about what learnability is, learnability. And then there's also the idea of learning agility. Sounds the same, but it's not.
Mm-hmm.
Where else is my sketch of sketchy ideas here?
We sketch about the sketchy ideas that we're going to sketch about on the Sketchy Ideas show.
All right, so mentorship. So I'm going to tag team on mentorship and talk about train. I'm going to train the trainer over here on mentorship. We'll put those ideas together. And the other idea was, oh gosh, I'm going to say hire for less. There's probably a better way to say it. Hire for less and reinvest. All right, and let me drop. So there's our, gosh, that's a nice long list. All right, so here's the meta. Here's the meta, folks. Lots of these are theory, not a lot. These are all good in theory, like lots of ideas, and most of the ideas we explore on Sketchy Ideas, right? Lots of the stuff is good in theory. Whether that's going to work for you is way too contextual. So we're not going to give you any like a go do this today's, but we're going to give you consider these non-traditional approaches. Does that sound about right? If you want.
Otherwise,
don't.
I mean, again, training is a mindset. Development is a mindset. It's really based on the cultural values of how you build your team. Because guess what? I've seen plenty of companies not worry about training at all, and it works just fine. It's really dependent on your business model, and your business model is just not how you generate revenue. Your business model also has to deal with how you generate talent and deliver what you're promising to your customers and clients. So if that does require a large human resource aspect of it, you can, I mean, we talk to how you can outsource this stuff and not have to worry about it with Michelle. I mean, that's right. Essentially a significant, those are things that you can do. Great example. I do think that especially if your business is built or your organization is built around bringing talent in, having them stay for a long time and work with you for a long time and have them become part of the team, then these are things that you need to look at. And they're all going to be different, right? And I say that because, look, in the marketing agency at Cream City Marketing, we do things very differently than the way we do things in BPODs. Mostly because in BPODs, we're working with beekeepers and we're out in the field, whereas at Cream City Marketing, most of the time, unless Brian comes along on a ride with me to go film some things, we're in an office. Right, Brian?
Yep.
Man, a few words today. All right.
Right. So you're making a great point. So let me go back a step into some. So what I jotted down was talent mindset. So talent mindset is an understanding that I need to be thinking about the talent on my team more than just the people on my team. And it's a nuance, but it's important. Because when I'm thinking about talent mindset, I'm also recognizing that the people on my team aren't always going to be the same people. And there is if you go theory X, theory Y here, like, old school thinking on this is, if I'm going to invest in somebody, I want them to stick around, right? Like I'm only going to train the people who are going to be here because, those are my dollars that I want to get the ROI on.
Yes.
And that thinking is flawed because practically speaking, you're no more loyal to those employees than they are to you.
Depending on the culture, yeah.
Right? And I say that having been on both sides of the loyalty coin, so to speak. In order for you to grow your business, right, you have to be a little bit practical. And one of those practical ways of thinking means you have to recognize that sometimes the talent you grow might not be the talent that you get to reap the rewards from, but hopefully in the grand ecosystem of things, you're going to get somebody else's grown talent. Like there's this idea of being an exporter. There's an idea of exporter of talent, as in we make people better, and then like we send them off. And what that actually does for you, if you actually get to your brand being there, and I'm way side this right now, but I can't stop myself. If you get like to the point of having a reputation in the market as an exporter of talent, guess what you start to attract?
Talent.
Because top talent wants to be taken care of and developed and made better. If you get a reputation as we make good, great, and great, awesome, you start getting more good and great in the door at the front end, and you get to reap the rewards of that. So all of this says calculating how much money you're spending on training is missing the point.
Yes. And for the record, that Michael had to convince me of that statement at some point in time in the previous recent history.
This is true. You're right. I appreciate, and probably me too, going way back. But if you're gonna, the opposite, by the way, is being a hoarder of talent. I want to articulate that carefully. So don't hoard your talent. If you hoard your talent, you're basically creating the Peter principle in reverse, and that's just silly. All right, and we're back. So, all right, Brad, let's go at the top of the order because I like the sound of the buddy system. What's the buddy system in your world? All right,
let's talk about the buddy system. All right. So this is something that I have far from mastered, but it is something that I try to explain to people and implement. And it really goes like this, that when you hire in twos.
I only have a budget for one, Brad.
Of course you do, but you hire in twos because I've seen it, I've witnessed it, and this is how I try to find people, is if you bring in two people here's the thing, they don't even have to be the same position, right? And maybe that position starts as part-time split, or maybe it starts as like contract, whatever you call it. But if you hire in twos, what ends up happening is that as you're training and developing, they begin to ask each other questions. They become self-reliant.
Yep.
You become the person delegating. And the way that this kind of goes hand in hand with the structured training, but you also end up with trying to challenge them with throwing them in the deep end together, because you can't train for everything.
So this is like you're like intentionally hiring a cohort, basically.
I'm sorry. I'm laughing looking at Brian's face.
Oh, well, I turned him off because I know better. But Brian is your object lesson, and I've tried all of these theories. Let's ask the guinea pig. It's like you actually get to talk to the mouse and say, okay, do you want more cheese? What do I need to do to get you to click the button?
For the record, Brian is not the first guinea pig that I've done this with.
Well, that's why he stuck around so long. The first two are,
Well, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so this is the idea of cohorts, right? Because people in the class together are more likely to ask their classmates than they are to ask the teacher. So you're intentionally creating a class, right?
Yes.
So when I was in corporate, this is important. This is why you did orientation like every 2 weeks or every month only, because then you had critical mass, not only just for the training hours, but for the camaraderie that happens of we all started on the same day together. And that creates a camaraderie of that new freshman class every month or so. So you're basically saying, even if you're not big enough to do that, or even if you're hiring a couple part-times, starting them together creates that bond of learning and journeying with a partner. And
it actually accelerates the ability for them to learn and become part of the process faster.
So this is interesting because this is a different buddy system than the mentor, where I'm going to pair you up with a senior person. You're intentionally pairing up the freshman instead of freshman senior. Okay, that's important.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I like that.
I mean, again, I'm going to continue to reiterate this for everybody. This doesn't always work, but it works more often than it doesn't.
Well, and look at
and-
all the social constructs we just tapped into about why it works.
Yes. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to pull in engagement scores. One of the key, the Q12 of engagement questions is, I have a friend at work. It's one of the top 12 things that engage employees. Remember, engagement drives productivity and real dollars. And therefore, if I intentionally create a buddy at work, so to speak, the likelihood of that person sticking past their first week, month, 90 days, etc., is drastically increased.
Yeah, and in
like
fact, this is how I also make decisions versus of hiring internally or hiring a service provider.
If I can hire two,
based on that.
then I can hire two. If I can't hire two, then I might get by better with a temporary outsource.
Well, if I go to a service provider for the role, if
Service
possible, because the service provider is going to have systems already implemented that are trained. So I'm making a value judgment call at the beginning of going, look, what is this role? Does this role make sense for me to hire internally? If so, okay, consider it. Can I hire two people? Yes, hire two people. If not, go find the best service provider who has systems in place, like a Michelle and Squared Up, Squared Away, Squared Up, basketball. Anyway, but those are the things that go through when you make these decisions, why you hire in that way in order to make sure you get the best bang for your buck, especially for all of you small businesses, solopreneurs, startups out there in the world. If you're a small business that's been around and you're cash flowing enough, hire two people, unless the service provider actually provides a higher desired result all the time.
For
right?
all the reasons you would hire.
And then stick with them.
Yeah, right.
Stick with them, right? So yeah, that's just, you just got into my.
No, it's good because I'm going to yes and it from our previous conversations. I'm going to yes and it on, if I've broken down the processes and the roles down to smaller, I'm going to use micro, right? But smaller levels of responsibility, I can hire two part-times that have defined skill sets and actually get, as opposed to trying to hire, because folks back, old school mindset says, well, I can't hire a person until I have 40 hours of work to give them. That's assuming that the only people that want to get hired are full-time workers. How many people who are great at X would love to just do X, right? And just bring them in to do X and then find somebody else to just do Y. You got two part-timers who are loving what they do, and you've got the same amount of overhead at the end of the day, and you got all the positive repercussions of the buddy system, plus the positive implications of differentiation, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And rinse and repeat on any outsource, because okay, so I'm going to talk about Squared Away because I know them as an example. The few folks all the people that I've worked with, and I've had 3 or 4, I think now, from that same company, each of them had a professional career before joining Squared Away, which means, like, for the same amount as a regular EA, I'm getting a skilled and experienced professional. Now, those folks exist in the real world, not just through services. There are people who would love to just do that thing that, so back, if you had a corporate job that was 40 hours, there's like 25 to 30% of that was the part of that you loved to do.
Right. Yep.
Imagine if somebody would pay you just to do that part, and you're like, cool, that's all the thing I want to do, and that's all the time I need. I don't even need full-time work. You can find people who are specialists, and all you need is that, and they're like, well, that's all that I want to do. Like,
cool, done.
That's perfect.
So we've gotten a little away from the training aspect, but we got to one right now.
Okay, so what we said was upgrade your team, right? These are upgrades, people. Upgrades.
Yeah.
These are the ways that you upgrade your team, and oftentimes when it comes to talent and hiring, because this is also a hiring conversation, people, the default thinking is, I'll hire a replacement for the person I just lost. Right. That's default thinking. Maybe that should be a subtitle for today. Upgrading your team that's non-default, right? Default is things like classroom training, and if they lack motivation, I'll send them to training. Right? Those are all default responses. And the other default response is, let me hire a replacement for what I just lost.
Right. So here's an example, right? Like, everybody watches sports. Not everybody. Most everybody watches sports or understands sports. For those of you who don't know this, I'm a Bears fan. We have a quarterback problem in Chicago over and over and over
That's
again.
accurate. That's accurate.
So you try to make an upgrade at the position. Sometimes you have to find replacement. But if you can make an upgrade either through development by finding somebody in the draft and developing them, or you go out and you find an upgrade that's a better person for the value that you're looking to bring. I mean,
Yes.
it works the same way. Unfortunately, like I was thinking about this because of the whole free agency thing in sports. I was like, it would be really interesting if businesses functioned the way professional sports teams
Oh my
did.
gosh.
It'd be really
Can you
chaotic, but it would be really, really interesting if like, you know, if
like
GE
this.
was like, I want that Brian Omig guy. That guy's got some stuff
Right.
going on. And instead, we're going to trade you and some cash, Brad. We're going to trade you Joe, who we just got, the janitor,
I
who
love it.
doesn't know the technical stuff, but we're going to throw some cash at you because we think
and a draft pick, which is like hiring the next class out of college.
Yeah.
Like let's just
Exactly.
totally create this whole. This could be a thing. I think you're onto
right.
something. Yeah. Well, here's okay. So you're pointing to something, maybe a long shot, but if I can identify what I really, really critically need, right?
Mhm.
Just that to talk about investing training dollars, right? So
Yeah.
this is the idea. The idea is called learnability. And I like the phrase because here's what it says. There are some parts of a job that can be learned and can be trained and can be taught. And other parts that either I can't spend the time and money to train or that are very hard to learn, except by experience or having that natural talent. So when I used to manage hotels, I said, I can't train nice. I hire for nice. Right? I can't teach you to be nice. I can't teach you to be nice to people. I can teach you how to use my system. I can teach you what the room numbers are. I can even teach you how to clean a room, but I can't teach you to be nice. So I hire for nice and I teach and train the rest. That was an intentional play on my part to reinvest training dollars where they can make a difference as opposed to where they can't.
Well, I never worked at a hotel with Michael.
Also true. You might have been, you would have been a good housekeeper because housekeeping is all about processes. This is no joke. When it comes to identifying so we're back to upgrading talent. You have an open role. Figure out what is the thing you can't teach and hire for that. Housekeeper. What's the default thinking if I got to hire a housekeeper, Brad? What am I looking for?
Somebody who's detail oriented,
Right?
somebody who's going to follow a process every time to make sure things get checked off the list and trying to find an efficient way to move things forward as fast as they can.
See, you're too good at this because you already did the two things that nobody else ever thinks of.
But
Typically,
I
attention to
prefer
detail and daylight
to be the
cleaning.
cabana boy. I
Well, that's
prefer
a
the
different-
cabana boy.
Of course you do. It's all about the tips. Here's the thing on housekeeping. Housekeeping is about the process. It's about, can I do the exact same thing 14 times a day consistently and correctly? It's not about, do you like to clean? And
Right.
it is a little bit about attention to detail. But the default thinking is, let me hire somebody who is good at cleaning. But the person who's good at cleaning might not be the person who can do the same thing 14 times in a row without varying and actually enjoy the repetition of that. Why I don't make a great housekeeper. I can design the process, but I'm not really good at following it. I get bored with that kind of repetition. It's not creative, and I would fail out as a housekeeper. But I can make better housekeepers because I can design processes. Anyway, we only covered a few of these. We already our conversation, we ran.
I know we're already at the end of our time here. So I think.
I guess we have to talk about this again. Darn it.
Oh shucks.
What a shame.
But here's the point. This
There's a
conversation and the reason Michael and I were like, hey, what do we need to talk about next when it comes to this whole building process, scaling a business through process, finding the right partners, all that stuff. And this conversation is really tough to have with any business owner or manager in general. It doesn't matter if you're in marketing, it doesn't matter if you're in landscaping, doesn't matter if you run a factory, doesn't matter if you run a pool cleaning company, or a hotel.
Nice.
But the challenge with this whole thing has to deal with, you're trying to develop talent and upgrade your team. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, this does not work the way professional sports does, where you have essentially a salary cap because you have unlimited budget, right? It doesn't work that way. So instead, you have to implement different ways to get to that point. And the only way you can do that is beginning to think about it, not from the standpoint of, I need a housekeeper, therefore I need people who can clean. No, you're identifying the skills, the talent, and the mentality that are needed in order to execute it at the rate or the value or the efficiency that you're looking at, which is all the KPIs and the measurement stuff, which we talked about in the process stuff way back when. All right.
Define success, know how to measure it. You got it. Yep.
Yeah. So we went out and found some weird ideas. We got into some. I think we're going to talk about more of these next week. And I want to dive into.
I feel like we haven't dug into this nearly enough.
Yeah, and I actually next week let's make sure we talk about the learnability further, the learning agility, and the.
Let me pick that up for next time. Yeah, so I want to talk a little bit more about this. How to identify it. Learning agility is a cool thing. Hire less and reinvest is kind of learnability, so that's there. But the iterative approach I think is interesting, and we got to get into deep end, and whether we got a lot of stuff. We only covered like 2 or 3, and that's okay. That was time flies when you're having fun. We should put a wrap on this thing. That's what they say. Nice. All right, I'm supposed to talk to this camera when I put the wrap on. So here we go. All right, folks, it's been another episode of Sketchy Ideas. We explored talent, and we had fun doing it. We hope you had fun watching. Tune in next time when we try this again without a net. So remember, take two. And remember, just because it's a sketchy idea doesn't mean it's not worth exploring. Hey, just watch us. We'll see you next time.
Yeah.